Thank you very much. Good day. Welcome. Thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to be on the show. My name is Emmanuel. Some people call me Doc, Dr. Emmanuel Imevbore. What I do essentially is help people to enjoy the journey of life. To break that down is in life we all need someone loyal, sometimes professional, understanding, knowledgeable, and someone's got your back to help you go through the journey of life, because life is tough. And the person who does that best is a coach. So I'm a professional coach. I'm also a pastor, and I write books, author of about 30 books. I give lectures. I facilitate conferences and workshops. All is geared towards enjoying the journey of life. Well, I wouldn't say that my background is rich or poor, but I would rather say it's a privileged background. Privileged in the sense that I was fortunate, or I am fortunate, to have parents that are educated. My father is a professor. My mother is also an educationist, proprietress of schools. They are in their 80s now, but still alive. My father is also a pastor, so you see, I took after that. And having such parents, especially those that have invested time in ministry, in education, there's discipline, but there's also amazing influence as role models. So we did not lack anything, as it were, growing up, but we were brought up to understand the value of everything that you have, that things don't just come to you. You've got to go for it. But we're talking about inspiration. My father inspired a lot of people and inspired me. It's remained my greatest role model, for now. So my background is one whereby education there was a high premium placed on education. That's formal education. And that's actually, I'll be honest with you, how I ended up with a PhD. As a first son of a professor, his dream was that I would become a professor like him, and so on. So I was virtually, guided through there. That's the kind of background, that I have. Grew up with love, with my siblings, and I would say that's why I use the word privileged, but it also positioned me. And we were able to see grief, pain, distress around the world, but not insulated from it. That we are privileged so that God has positioned us to be able to help others. I think right from the age of 4 or 5, I had heard my father say that he became a professor and he became a pastor. I will become a professor and pastor. Even as a kid then, maybe I didn't understand what being a businessman is, but I was determined in my mind that I was going to be a businessman, not a pastor, not a professor. And it wasn't until maybe my early teens, 12, 13, that I actually first told him, I'm going to be a businessman. You understand that in those days, there were no Bill Gates, there were no Elon Musks. So you're telling this to an old school professor who believes that every businessman is a crook, that you cannot successfully run a business without telling lies. Not only that, you don't need any form of education. You buy something here for this amount, put a little bit on it, you sell it. You don't need any education for that. But I think what inspired me to want to be a businessman, I'll be honest, even though he was a professor, he was a very exposed person. He had some friends that were businessmen, wealthy businessmen. And when they come, well, we lived in the university campus, all right? And when they come from the city to come and visit us, they have their flashy limousines and so on. My dad did well for himself. He had Mercedes, but it wasn't anything compared to what I saw some of his friends who were not in academics had. So I think that also fired me. But in giving credit to who credit is due, the foundation that my parents laid in, I would say 3 major areas. Number 1, a good name. I travel around the world, and many places where I get to, as far as China, Italy, Philippines, people ask me, are you related to Professor Imevbore? So a good name, that's number 1. Number 2, good education, like I said. And I will say the third is showing you the way of the Lord, how to have great values. So even all those 3 have helped me in business. And the organization I run now, LEAP organization, if you allow me to say, LEAP, L for leadership, E for entrepreneurship, A for aspiration, that's the coaching part, and P for productivity, is rooted in those values that my parents put in me. What is good about it is that with time, we had a convergence that people must follow their passion and their dreams. In any case, I still did a PhD. I still lectured in the university for a while, for 6 years. So I think that should be enough for my dad. Yeah, I think my father's shoes, I never dreamt that I would ever be able to do anything bigger than my dad. Here was somebody who got a PhD at 26. And when I got my PhD at 28, people thought I was a genius, all right? I mean, he became a professor at 31. All right, became a chancellor of a university in his 50s and so. So the idea of even trying to to do more than your doesn't even arise at all. However, there are areas where I believe that my father could have done better that inspired me. Writing. For all his brilliance, my father has only 5 books published. Now, some people will hear only 5 and they will cringe. You say only 5? For me, I can almost publish a book every month. So, in that aspect, I really wanted, as an author, it wasn't really the money. It's a question of passing knowledge. I tell people, in any area where you are regarded as, I'll use that word loosely, an expert, or you have expertise, or more than the average knowledge, you should seek to do 3 things. Train people there, because you see, knowledge is a resource. You release and you retain. You cannot lose knowledge because you've released it. If anything, it's even added more to you. So one way is to train people. The second is to write books. We read the Bible. Imagine if there were no people writing biographies. People write. So a reader, as I say, or a leader, as I say, is a reader. So passing knowledge through training, workshops, and then of course I'm biased. You must coach. All right, coach others. Now, those are three areas that I believe I've done a little more than my dad. Yes, as a professor, he taught and he trained. But maybe at that time, I mean, we're talking about, he was in his element in the 70s. Things like coaching and all, they are relatively new, all right? I believe that if they were available at that time, he could have done so much more. But what drives me is not money. What drives me is value. But the key thing about value, if you create value, money will come, because money attracts value. Yes, I look back now and I'm grateful to God and to my parents that what seemed like a challenge for us then is really what kept us out of trouble. What do I mean? Everybody knows your father. So you can't smoke. You can't do anything. And I mean, you know, it's usually said in Africa that it takes a community, a village to raise. I mean, things have changed a lot. A lot of values have changed. But you get to a place. Once you get there, all eyes are on you. So for us growing up, it was an irritation. It was a burden. All right? And sometimes you just wish your parents were unknown, that your parents were just, you know, that's, you couldn't just do anything. But of course, you look back now and you say, hey, those things were good for us because it kept us out of trouble, kept us in check. I mean, I'll give you an example. After me is a lady, and then a gentleman, my brother Victor. He's done very well for himself now, but Victor was pretty rascally, all right, and he was still, you know, the car and things like that. Before he gets far, news would have come home. I saw your car, you know, and things like, you know, like that, and so on. We laugh over all of those things now, but I don't know if really you want to look at that as a challenge. Yes, for us kids it was, but we didn't have the challenge of maybe no money or no clothes, or, you know, it wasn't those kind of challenges, or the challenges of absentee parents, for instance. We didn't have that. Or so for me, I can only point to that. And another thing I could say, perhaps a challenge later, was when I was doing my PhD. You know, I had these lecturers, old lecturers, that felt it's one thing for you to appear brilliant, but emotionally, are you sure you are good enough, strong enough for a PhD? Because the idea then is, once you get a PhD, you're not going into the job market. You're coming into the university to lecture. I mean, who's going to employ a PhD? All right? So they wanted to know, at your 20s and things like that, are you sure you can do this? Because now you're going to be lecturing people who are around your own age, and, you know, and so on. So a few of them, I'll be honest, tried to put stumbling blocks, you know, made life a little tougher for me. Also because they felt that my dad's standing in society was, or gave me undue advantage, and so on. But we surmounted all of those. So I can't really recall anything that I would say was a big challenge for me. I actually thought I had a very rosy life, I'll be honest with you. Success to me is understanding your purpose and achieving it. Money could be included, but it's not necessarily money. There are a lot of people that maybe society will look at as being successful because they are rich, not necessarily wealthy, but their purpose in life. What is their purpose? Is it the purpose is to be rich, or there was a definite purpose? So success for me is relative. It's a question of understanding your purpose. It could be life, your purpose for being where you are now, maybe as a lecturer, maybe as a businessman, and achieving that purpose. It's in a way like you set a goal, you understand the goal, and you achieve it. You know, so for me, that is what success means to me. But if you allow me, I believe that there's something greater than success. And that is what I call significance. Success is you, me, achieving this. Significance is when you help others to achieve. That's when, really you have made impact, you have influenced other people, you have made a difference. And to me, that is a bigger aspect of success, which I call significance.
Amazing. You were talking about your book.
Oh, yes. I said I actually wrote a book, and it's a very simple way that I describe success, all right? Arithmetically or in a formula. And it's unique knowledge plus increased capacity plus good attitude minus inhibition. Unique knowledge, meaning that every one of us is unique. You have a knowledge I will not be able to access or know in a million years. When you are aware of your uniqueness and you position yourself to use that knowledge for advantage or your path to success. Number 2, plus increased capacity. Capacity is expandable ability. Usain Bolt has an ability to run 100 meters in 9 point something seconds. I don't have that ability, so I cannot build capacity in an area where I don't have an ability. So, so increased capacity is the more you do, the better, but you must have a potential. Then, plus good attitude. It's not any worth that you have knowledge, you have capacity, but you have a horrible attitude. You can teach people skills, but they've got to teach themselves the attitude. So it's a good attitude that will help you to understand that you can actually succeed because you have this knowledge and you've built this capacity from an ability. Then there's the last one, I said minus inhibition. What is inhibition? Inhibition is that thing that says, what if? I'm sure you've thought of wanting to do something great and something will just come to your mind. Hey, will this happen? What if? There's laziness sometimes, there's procrastination, there's fear and all that. Everything we've seen around us today is a dream, someone's dream. And don't tell me that they didn't have anything that would have appeared to them like, oh, it may not work. But they overcame that inhibition, and today we celebrate them. There's a book I like to recommend. I just started reading the book, so it's like top of mind to me. It's Winning the Money Game. Winning the Money Game by a young South African, an ex-banker, and his name is Lambo Mambo. And it's a story of how many of us go through educational institutions and all that, but don't understand that money is a game. And so is a story is very well. I'll recommend that to to people, especially young people, because everyone has a relationship with money that is different. It's the currency of life. The second book I like, excuse me, to recommend is by winning with people. John Maxwell is a very powerful book. It just speaks about everything is about people. And if you are going to be, we use the word successful, yeah. If you're going to be successful, if you're going to be impactful, if you're going to be influential, if you're going to be, it's people. But you've got to win with people. So I'll recommend those two books, apart from the Bible, of course. Okay, I have a quote I would like to recommend and which I apply to myself. You cannot make money and excuse at the same time. You cannot make money and excuse at the same time. One must give. That's Jack Welch. All right. There's another quote. Now, this is me, my own quote. All right. So this is Emmanuel's quote. It simply is, greatness that is in you is brought out through hardship. You want me to give another quote? I like another quote by a good friend of mine, Tony Doville, all right, a partner and coach. He says, and I quote, skinny, oh, sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's go again.
Shy, he says, and I quote, shy salesmen have skinny children. I'll repeat it. Shy salesmen have skinny children. What that simply is, when you are too shy, you are selling, but you are shy to telling people, you're not going to earn anything. You're going to have your children are going to be skinny, nothing to eat. You know. My perception, and because I want to use that word perception, perception may not be reality, of where we are now is that the onset of the digital revolution and so on is great. As a coach, people expect that life will be like drive-through because we want everything quick. So life and development is about process, and it takes time. You sow a seed, it must germinate and grow and all that and fruiting. But when a world and era and stage now that people want instant gratification, they want everything instant. And as a coach, the challenge I see there is that people don't want to pay the price, but they want the prize. And there's the digital thing, there's that says to you that, hey, you don't need to learn. I mean, a 5-year-old now will operate a phone and take photos. So what does it need Kodak for and things like that? But that's not the reality of life. Social media does not prepare you for the resources that is inside there. And what a coach does essentially is not to teach you, is to help you to bring out what is already in you for you to overcome there. So if it is superficial, there's nothing there, and there's poor me, and you're expecting something from the outside, it's a bit difficult for the coach. You've got to give the coach something to work with. Um, my immediate, I'll put them into immediate, medium, and long term. My immediate plans and goals is to build Leap Foundation. Leap Foundation is an NPO, non-profit organization that was launched this year, 2022, in April. It focuses on empowering women of Africa and youths of Africa in 4 areas, giving them access in 4 areas. And I can use the acronym LIFE. L, leadership, I, innovation, F, finance, and E, entrepreneurship. That is a project that we've just started. So my immediate goal and focus is on that. Medium is to expand my coaching organization, International Coaching and Mentoring Institute, ICMI, to be in 50 countries in the next 5 years. We are already in 5 countries now. ICMI is a specialist coaching organization. We do career, life, executive, business, strategy, finance, and leadership coaching. Recently, because of what we're doing with Leap Foundation, because I'm the founder of both of them, we have now put youth coaching, and we are currently working with Nelson Mandela Children's Fund on that. But we want to take this to as many countries as possible. So we've put ourselves there, 50 countries in 5 years. In terms of long-term goal is to write 200 books before I am before I'm 80. What I see that's happening around the world that encourages me is, of course, the technology. The rate at which technology is advancing. It makes life a lot easier for us. And even for some of us that are still old school, it's helped us to, if you like, do our business much better. All right. For instance, I now have online courses. I can now do some training virtual. Before all this, I have to be present physically, and so on. So I'm excited at the rate and the advancement in technology. It has its challenges, but the benefit part is there. That excites me. The second thing that I would say that excites me is that there's more awareness in the world, today, maybe also because of social media. Why do I say it excites me? I am a leadership fob. I mean, I'm trained as an executive coach, leadership coach, and I know that leaders have a responsibility to be transparent and open to their people. But we've not always had open, transparent, and credible leaders. Today, the way the world is going, we hold our leaders accountable because somehow there's an awareness. And it's not just, it's all over the world. It's all over the world. There isn't that poor me, I'm in one corner again, and so on. And it will continue because the young people become bolder. They become more energized and they ask questions. And this, I think, is good for leadership, not just national. In the family, without being rude to your parents, you should ask questions. In organizations, in the country, and everywhere. So I'm excited about that. This is how I believe you can find your purpose. It starts with a dream. What's your dream? It takes nothing to dream, but it will take everything, all right? Lose everything not to have a dream. So as a coach, I always want to start with a purposeful life starts with a dream. When you wake up, what do you think about? And a lot of people will get confused there. So I help them with just a bit of nudging by saying, have you seen anything around you that sparks your desire? So it starts with a dream, but that dream must translate into a desire. See, someone may not know the gift that he has because you also need environment. You need opportunity. Sometimes as well, you need to meet a coach that can help, bring that thing out. But it's in you. Every one of us is there. So to someone who wants to find their purpose, we can twist it in another way. What do you believe you can do excellently but effortlessly? Two things tied together. Excellently but effortlessly. I mean, if they wake you up, it's effortless, but you do it excellently. I can give an example if you permit me. You have comedians. There's a guy in the US, Trevor Noah. I believe that Trevor Noah must have just been mimicking his teachers and people and all of that in school. And for him, it was just fun. It was just, you think he initially at that time thought of it as a career? I don't think so. You have footballers today, all right, that just started, but for them, it's just like, it just comes to me almost natural. Now, you have to help some people to put a finger on that. Doing it excellently doesn't mean they are perfect, but they do it better than the average, and it's effortless. Next is now that desire, all right? And it has to do with passion. You will pay to do it. Trevor Noah will pay. Michael Jackson will pay. Lionel Messi will pay. Ronaldo will pay to do what they are doing. Then the third, they are now paid to do it. To people who are struggling and finding it difficult, to get by in business and life and so on, the first thing is, tomorrow is a new day. Today is a new day. Yesterday is gone. You can't do anything about the past. But what I will recommend to everyone is get a coach. Why should you get a coach? Not because there's something wrong with you. And that's the difference between a coach and, a psychologist, and so on. The coach sees the potential in you. You may not see it because there's a lot of noise around. You've had bad experiences. You've had people, cheat you. You don't have money to start business. You're not going to do anything as long as you keep moaning, me, I can't. But what a coach does for you is what the coach does on the sports field as well. These sportsmen want to quit many times. The coach paints a picture and plays a movie for them. Just imagine that after 90 minutes, you are holding a trophy. Put yourself in 90 minutes from now. What do you need to do? All right. You know why? Everyone will pay the price if the price is right. So people give up because we live in a world where there's so much competition, and you don't have many people by your side telling you and encouraging you that, you know what, I was there before, here I am today. You know what, you've got this, you've got that, you can do this, you can do that, and I'm here to help you. We will do it together. That's a coach. A coach is not just about money. Many people think, oh, get a coach, and they are thinking, oh, 1 hour with a coach, and then he's going to ask me. Think about the journey. The journey with a coach is a journey of life. He's giving of his knowledge, his experience, his loyalty to you, support to help you to get to the next level. Don't give up. Business may be tough now, but tomorrow is a new day. Don't give up. What I think the millennials have is the ability to learn fast and learn quick. Knowledge. Today, we don't have big manuals for, you recall in those days you get your phone. I remember when I had my BlackBerry, all right, and I had to go through the manual, and the world's changed today. You don't need manuals, you don't need that, and so on. And it's knowledge that actually brings wealth. It's what you know and you use that will position you to create value and earn money or make a difference, impact people. So I believe that what millennials have today that are not using is seeking that unique knowledge I talked about. When you go to the internet, you don't download knowledge, you download information. But knowledge is information that is useful to you, adaptable to your situation. Once you can find that knowledge, you're a solution provider, and you don't need to be someone else. So that's my encouragement. Of course, this is what I do as a coach as well. The difference between a coach and a motivational speaker, I would like to put an illustration. In some countries, a coach is looked at like a boss, a vehicle. Even trains, they use the coaches. So a coach helps transport from one spot to the other. In the simplest form is you are in point A, but you desire to be in point B. Hey, how do I get to point B? A motivational speaker can tell you that you have the ability to kill a lion because David did. All right? Okay. So the coach shows you, helps you, inspires you, and takes the journey with you, almost like carrying you on his back to get to point B. The difference, big difference here is that you are the one that has the goal, not the coach. Another big difference between the coach and the motivational speaker is that the coach is inspirational. What's the difference between inspirational and motivational? Inspirational is from inside. The coach cannot help you if there's nothing on the inside for you. But the motivational speaker is like the pastor. Preach it, pastor. Preach it. He is on the outside, encouraging you to do something. All right? But you don't have it in the inside of you to do. It's, if I can give another illustration, It's like on a sunny, hot day. You get into your house, sweaty and so on. All you want to do is go under the shower. So you run, take off your clothes, you go under the shower, and you enjoy the shower and so on. Are you going to keep living in the shower? That's how motivation is. You will have to leave the shower someday, and tomorrow you are going to get hot again. So you will need to continue to be motivated because it's from the outside. An inspiration is when someone like Mandela says the struggle is my life. You understand? It's from the inside. You can't stop an inspired person because he has a cause. He has a reason. And that's what the coach helps you to see. I do. I have a very inspirational story, and I want to warn you, I hope I won't cry. Every time I share this story, I am full of emotions. Interestingly, it started in 2004. I used to regard myself as a motivational speaker then, but I was already a coach. And we had this session with a company, and the CEO invited me to the company to come and do a session for his team. There were about 34 of them. And I have a process that I call breaking the ice, where people choose power names. All right? So power name is you form a letter, a word from the first letter of your first name. So you are king, all right? You form something with K. So I'm Emmanuel. My power name is Energetic Emmanuel. And I must live up to it, okay? So people chose their power names and so on. And there was this lady, the cleaner, all right, whose name is Queen. I didn't know that was her name then. She will come in, serve us food, clean and so on. But she was not part of the team. And then at a point I said, but why is she not sitting here? And many people just looked like, no, they didn't say that, but it was like, she's a cleaner, she shouldn't be here, all right? But I'm the one leading, I'm the one facilitating. I insist that Queen must join us. So they go to call her, and she thinks she's in trouble. So Queen comes, and then I ask Queen. So there's this lady, her name is Queen. Well, I got to know her name later. She comes in, clean, and take our mess and so on. And I was wondering, why is Queen not sitting here? But obviously, people did not expect that a cleaner should be sitting where managers are sitting. But I'm the facilitator, and I insisted. So they called Queen. She thought she was in trouble. She came, and we asked her to sit down. So I explained the power name to her. And there is now the problem. What name can you choose from Q? It's a very difficult alphabet. And so, her bosses were laughing and so on. But I waited for her. And suddenly, she said, I am queenly queen. Queenly queen. The moment she said, I'm queenly queen, she sat properly. And I realized energy. As coaches, we talk a lot about energy. So that's tracking energy. So what I did, I said, Queen, you know who a queen is? She said, yes. I said, as a queen, you are like the CEO of this organization now. Everybody here is your subordinate. Queen, what will you do different? Or what will you do to move this company forward? And Queen just went to town. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that, and everything. Nobody was laughing any longer. People were taking notes. Now, this is a cleaner. This is a tea girl. She's not a shareholder, but she sees herself as a stakeholder. But she never had the opportunity to express what she had inside of her that could move the organization forward. I'm happy to say, Queen from that day did not see herself as a cleaner. She saw herself as a queen. She still cleaned, she still served, but in her mind, she was a queen. The story ends with Queen asking the organization to sponsor her to go to university, which they did. She still worked for the same organization, and it ends with a beautiful story ending where Queen becomes executive director of that same organization. And I'm happy to say I was her coach. The 4 keys to success for me is: number 1, purpose; number 2, plan; number 3, people; number 4, patience.
Okay.
Purpose.
Okay, all right, okay.
Purpose. There must be a reason for you to want to be where you dream and desire to be.
Okay, all right, let's take it again. Action.
The purpose. What is the purpose? There must be a reason for you to want to be successful. That's how you live a purposeful life. That's how you begin to see yourself as successful. So what's the purpose? For me, the purpose should not be just you. The purpose should have people and community. Number 2, plan. Once there is a purpose, a plan must be put in place, because anybody can dream. But in order not to remain a daydreamer, you must develop something. So a plan for me is putting strategies, directions, all right, to fit that purpose. Even in the creation of the earth, the purpose of God was clear at the end, but there was a plan, sequential plan. The next thing is people. For you to really be successful in life, it must involve people. Your dream may be individual, may be for you as an individual, but it must include people. And the more people that it includes, the bigger the dream. The example I can give is a father will have a dream for his household. How many are they? A president has a dream for his country. So the dream is graduated. The people you must see there, all right? It's about people. Even if you want to feed your dog, it is people that you have to talk to exchange money, to get. It's all about people. And the 4th important thing is patience. All of these is P. But what is patience? Patience is not just sitting and waiting. Patience is waiting with an expectation, knowing that there's a process. Like the farmer, he understands that there's a process. The seed goes into the ground, but it must be processed to come out. He has to be patient to wait for the seed to come out, to germinate, before he carries on. He cannot now say, oh, I've been waiting for the seed to come out, I can't, and he begins to dig. It's the same way. If I'm going to study medicine, I've got to be patient, all right? It's going to take me 6 years or whatever, but there's an expectation that after 6 years or whatever, I will get the degree. I will get this. So those are my 4 keys to success. I'm Emmanuel Imevbore. I'm an executive coach. I run an organization, International Coaching and Mentoring Institute. I'm also founder and president of Leap Foundation, an organization that focuses on empowering women and children. Keep watching gold.
Action.
So this is Emmanuel. Catch me on gold this week. See you then.
Yeah, okay.
This is Emmanuel Imevbore. Catch me on gold this week.
Yeah.
I'm Emmanuel Imevbore, executive coach and CEO of International Coaching and Mentoring Institute and president of Leap Foundation. Catch me on gold this week. My name is Emmanuel Imevbore. I'm executive coach working with International Coaching and Mentoring Institute. Keep watching Gold with King Nee. My wish for gold is that as gold is a resource that people aspire and want to associate with, Gold TV will be a household name. Gold TV, which has the desire to inspire people and make a difference in the world, will be one that will be touching people's lives. Today, people believe that there are no people around that can share good news, because what seems to sell, and it is usually said that what sells is bad news. There's too much bad news. My prayer, wish, desire for gold is that indeed you will continue to inspire people to see their lives as worth gold and more. There are people that are going through challenges in life. There's a particular person that continues to inspire me. There's a lady in Zimbabwe who is an inspiration to me as a coach. I coach her, but many times it turns out that she's the one that is actually encouraging me and coaching me. This is a mother, a wife, a business owner, full of dreams, full of energy. But it almost seems like every time she starts a new thing, a new idea and all that, it's like the whole world just comes against her. And she wants to give up. And at a time like that, she will give me a call and we'll share. As we talk, she begins to see opportunities, possibilities, and in that moment, she begins to talk to me about what next she's going to do, this. And what I love about it is the feedback after always comes back to say, you know what? What I thought was such a big issue, this is how I dealt with it. So I've been asking her to write a book to inspire people. And the lesson from my engagement with this lady, her name is Brenda, is, and I would like to also recommend that to viewers of Gold TV, is that you are significant. So when you experience significant challenges, know that it is because you are significant, but you will overcome. Life is tough, but life was made for the living. Don't give up. Better days are ahead. And I'm going to say it again. Look for someone professional, someone credible, someone experienced, someone knowledgeable, but loyal, ready to support you. That person is a coach. Walk the journey with that person. When I have a bit of doubt, which will always come because we are human beings, my coping mechanism is to understand that it is a seed that has been given to me. And as a seed, I have the responsibility to develop it. So that seed could be a problem. That seed could be a need. That seed could be a lie told against me. That seed could be anything. But what do you do with a seed? My philosophy in coping is that I must never eat my seed. I have to develop the seed. Why? Because inside the seed is the fruit that I need to share with others. So, like any human being, I will be afraid of certain things. I will get scared. I mean, we are emotional beings. You will get angry, you will get this, but just step back and say, this is a seed that has been given to me. What should I do with the seed? A seed is a potential. What you do with it is what is important. Don't throw away the seed. Inside that seed is an opportunity for you. Many times seeds are bitter. They are not sweet. But inside the seed is potential fruit.
Amen.
Many people have given me opportunities, open doors for me in life, but there's a particular person that I would like to express my gratitude to is Professor Seth Ajayi, my professor and supervised my PhD. He in particular was the one that encouraged me to be the person that I eventually became in accessing knowledge and utilizing knowledge. And I like to say one of the things he used to tell me is that knowledge that is not used is useless, is as good as not knowing it. So seek knowledge, utilize knowledge, and pass it on. And I'm eternally grateful to him for helping me, putting me on the path, not just on the path of academics, but showing me how to make impact and influence people. I'd like to say a big thank you to my partner, Tony Dovale, the white version of me. We've traveled the whole world and we've been working together. Thank you, Tony, for being a great partner. I also want to say a big thank you to Jeff Peary, Louis Hanekom, Mr. Hadebe, and several other team members, and of course to my family, my dear wife, Omobolanle, Imevbore, and my sons, Samuel and Ohiorere, for just being wonderful, wonderful family. I also say a big thank you to other friends and colleagues out there working with us on this coaching journey, and also with the LEAP Foundation, as well as the Limitless Leadership Group. Thank you so much. So I want to say a big thank you to Gold TV. I want to say a big thank you to King Nee and Andrew. It's been wonderful. Thanks for the opportunity to engage with you. And I know this is just the beginning. We're going to do a lot of things together. And to the viewers of Gold, keep watching Gold.